Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Crap Talk with Scarps, podcast where we sit down with people keeping Delco moving. I'm Mike Scarpignato from Scarpignato Plumbing. Today we got Lou from Captivate Painting and Remodeling with me. If you're in the Delco area and you ever needed interior bathroom remodel or kitchen remodels, Lou's one of the guys that we love to recommend. His work is fantastic, and we appreciate him coming out here to talk to us today.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me.
So, Lou, you are the owner of Captivate Painting and Remodeling. How many years in business right now into that?
3 years as is. We've been around a little bit longer than that, but operating as is, it's been a little bit longer than 3 years.
So, when you're doing your interior remodeling, are you doing, complete full guts of a house and then redoing, or do you really try to specialize in like kitchens and bathrooms for the most part?
So we started out doing the full guts of everything, and then over time we realized that sucks, and it's just a lot better to specialize in things. Then we started narrowing it down to we were doing kitchens, bathrooms, flooring, painting, not like a full gut type thing. And then we started narrowing it down more, and we did kitchens, built-ins, and bathrooms, and then we were kitchens and bathrooms, and now we try and basically just do bathrooms.
So even the bathrooms, you have some specialties in a bathroom, right? You guys can do a pretty quick turnaround on like a tub or shower if that just needs to be done?
Yeah, so we have what we call our fast shower system, and we can do those in as quick as one day. It's a long day, typically about 15 or 16 hours, but that's what we really love to do.
Where's most of your bathrooms and kitchens you think at? You think most of it's in Delco?
So I live in Springfield, and I don't like to go very far, as Springfield people do. So like most of our stuff is Springfield, Drexel Hill, Broomall, Media. Like if my house was the pin in the center, we're usually within 15 minutes of that.
I mean, I relate to that. Like our shop's 11 minutes from my house, and we probably go about 15 minutes the other way, north of my house for the most part. We do go further, obviously, and so do you. I mean, I've seen work you guys have done. You'll also do like not flips, but residential turnovers for rentals and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you'll go for those, right?
Yeah, we do rental. We have a couple property managers we work with that we do all the rental property turnovers. We have a couple house flippers that we work with that we do their house flips for them. We do stuff
full flip.
Yeah.
You'll handle all the paperwork in terms of scheduling and
that's the only way we do it. Not getting involved with other people. Somebody wants us to do their flip, we handle everything. They tell us, hey, here's the budget, here's the pictures of the comps that we're comping the house against. This is what we need it to look like, and then I need them to just step back and we just handle everything.
Let me do my business.
Yeah.
So how'd you get started in remodeling and painting and all that sort of stuff?
So that's how we got started was house flipping. In 2017, flipped our first house. And, so we're in there. We're trying to keep it light. So we're in there. We're doing like painting, flooring, demos, stuff like that. I had other things I was doing. This was like a side thing. So we do like a couple of those a year. And then I was subbing out a lot of stuff, having contractors come and do this or do that. And of course, like the usual contractor thing, you're like, oh my God, these guys all suck. Like they suck at communicating. They told me something was done on Tuesday and now it's Friday and like nobody's even been there. Like this is crazy. So I was like, all right, let's build our own team here. I'm going to start doing more. I'm going to build my own team. So then we started doing all of the flip stuff in-house for us and then for other flippers. And then one time, it was probably late 2022, I caught wind of how much like somebody can charge for work in somebody's house. And I was like, wait a minute, you charge like $80,000 for a kitchen? Because like, we'll do like a whole entire row home for like $80,000. Like everything, bathroom, kitchen, basement, full gut, like everything.
Now, to be fair, a row home kitchen and an $80,000 bathroom kitchen can be 8 very different things, right? Now, you can spend $30,000 on cabinets, right? Like, right. I know people have spent $100,000 on cabinets in a kitchen. I don't know why, but they did.
Yeah.
Because they were custom made. But so to be fair, generally a single individual house kitchen is going to be a lot more. But to your point, it's generally a lot more.
Yeah.
So why
Yeah.
wouldn't we get into that as opposed to
Right.
doing this whole thing for 80 grand?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, that's one of the reasons that we used to do kitchens and baths too, and then it was, I don't want to be there for a month anymore.
Yeah, right. And that's what we figured out with the kitchens. We don't want to be there 6 to 8 weeks.
Right.
We like the bathrooms where we're can be as fast as a day
Right.
for the tub to shower conversion, or if we're doing a full gut bathroom, we're there for 3 weeks. It's still not that bad.
Time. Money is time in this industry. That is for sure.
Learn that the hard way.
So before you were doing remodeling and even that flip, what were you into? What were you doing for money? How were you doing that? Anything?
So I grew up working in a restaurant. My dad owned Penn Pines Diner in Alden. He bought that in 2007, 2008. So through high school, I would work there, bussing tables, dishwashing. I elected to not go to college because school just wasn't my thing. Didn't know what I wanted to do, so I would just work at the restaurant. Started cooking there, ended up basically working 90 hours a week. If somebody went on vacation, my time card at the end of the week would literally be like over 100 hours. And I thought that was pretty cool because I was making $1,000 as an 18-year-old working 100 hours a week. I was like, the money's not bad, but you should think about it now.
All day long.
You're like, oh my God,
I
made $1,000 a week. Like, this is crazy. I was doing that, and then my dad was selling that, and I was like, well, what am I going to do now? Like, I don't really want to stay and work for the new people because they were changing the operations. Basically, they were changing what it was. So I went and I got a job at the UFC gym in Springfield doing sales for them, and that was huge because Vinny that ran the UFC gym, it's now Fight Shape Gym in Broomall, is like, he's the man. And everybody in there that was a coach in there at the time that I was there now has their own business. And that's directly because like he would have meetings with everybody. He, stressed the importance of sales and systems and like how to run a business.
Yeah.
And so that was huge. After that, I left. I was working at like a car dealership. And then I got fired from the car dealership because the Eagles parade, when they won the first Super Bowl, they were like, if anybody takes off, like, you're fired. And I was like, well, I'm not going to work. Like, I'm going to the parade.
Nobody's coming to my car, bro. I'm going to the parade.
Yeah. And so they did fire me for that. And then that's basically when I got into like starting to flip houses.
So basically Vinny at the UFC / now Fight Shape Gym really, I don't want to say he instilled the entrepreneurial spirit because obviously it was your dad, right?
Right.
But he kind of showed you that almost anybody can do that. Anybody can almost have that entrepreneurial spirit and to put systems in place, not just an old school mentality of running the business,
Right.
but that there's actual operations that go into running your business. And you think that's one of the reasons why you've been somewhat successful over the past couple of years is because you do put systems and policies in place for that, for everybody?
Yeah, so like systems is like the most important thing. We'd be screwed without system. We have been screwed in the past without having the proper systems. So like, yeah, I mean, I still talk with Vinny. I still talk with him. He really knows what he's doing, and that's been huge for me to just take anything I can from Vinny.
Yeah, having a mentor in the really in the business side of it, not just a mentor in the construction side, but having a mentor in the business side of running a business is so important because putting systems in place is the difference between being successful and not being successful. I mean, ultimately, right?
Yeah.
You can be successful with not having systems in place, but scaling and growing your business will just be an absolute cluster.
Not going to happen.
It's just not going to
happen.
Not going to happen easily, right? Or you're not going to happen to where you can probably obtain a level of success that you want without putting in some sort of system in place for sales and whatever it is, just even checks on your guys, right?
Right.
So what's something that in your industry, in the remodeling industry, do you think that is most misunderstood?
The amount of work that goes into your project that you don't see. like the effort that is involved outside of the actual project itself. So if you're hiring us to do your bathroom project, or even if it's something as simple as a flooring project, there's so much that gets done outside of us just coming and putting the new floor in. We are taking measurements of your space. We have to make sure we have all the proper measurements for stuff. If it's bathrooms, there's about 13 different things that we need to decide before we even think about doing your bathroom. So we have to put together the estimate. Our estimate is what we call, after pre-construction, we call it our pricing promise. This is what your bathroom's going to cost. There's no surprises. It takes a lot of work to get to that point. So we do that, and we have to send out our subcontractor agreements, make sure that us and our subcontractors are all on the same page with everything. We have to apply for permits and go through permitting if that's involved with the project. And then we're finally at the point where we have all your materials, we know what your project is going to cost, we have our subcontractors on board, and we have you on the schedule. And now we can actually start on your project. On load out day, when we go to start the project, we're at the shop, we're loading the trucks up with all the site protection materials. So on day one, we're doing mostly prep work and everything, making sure the rest of your home doesn't get destroyed. We're protecting everything. We're setting up zip walls and the dust filters and everything. And then we do the actual work. And then after that, we have to send in the cleaning team, make sure that everything gets completely cleaned up. And we're giving you your project handover packet, which says, hey, this is every material that's in your bathroom. This is the manufacturer warranty. This is our labor warranty. We're doing 1 day check-in. As silly as that sounds, we're going to call you the next day. Hey, is the bathroom great? We're going to call you in a week. We're going to call you in 3 weeks, in a month, in 6 months, and in a year. Really, the actual work is just a very small part, and there's so much that has to get done outside of that. So when people sometimes see a price for something, they're like, oh, this is crazy. You're only going to be here for a day, and it's going to be $15,000. There's so much other stuff that goes into it outside of that, and that's what people are paying for.
Yeah, the outside work is and that's the outside work is the difference. You and I both know. It's the difference between a company who, cares about what they're doing. And I don't mean cares like, they care about your birthday. They care about your product that they're giving you. And at the end of the day, when a company leaves your home and they're done and they say, hey, where's my final check at? The difference between a company that cares is we're following up, right? Yeah. You follow up, like you just said, but it's not just that, it's the planning that goes into it that is what helps a project move along. Getting a list of the materials that are in your bathroom and getting a list of the manufacturer warranties that come with those materials, very few people do, right? Most people don't ever know what's in their bathroom other than their fixtures. Right. And that's it, right? Like, and even then, if they didn't necessarily pick them out, they may not know the manufacturer of that. And I can tell you, going back into a bathroom that's been redone a few years later to fix a cartridge or fix a whatever, and not knowing what that faucet is and having to charge people money to take it apart to figure out what it is to then go get the correct cartridge, it costs money. And so, when a customer is knowledgeable in terms of what was in their project, it's night and day. So just even that little post check on, hey, this is what you got, this is what you're getting, that's a difference. And that's a big difference between a company who actually gives two rats about the product ultimately that they're giving you. So having a contractor that cares about what they're giving you really is one of the things that I think a homeowner should be more intelligent about than necessarily just the bottom line price. And we say it all the time to our customers is apples to apples, oranges to oranges, right? If we're giving you an apple, we're charging you for an apple. Just make sure the other contractors are charging you for that apple as well, right? Right. Because that extra stuff that you're giving, like you said, costs money. And if they don't want to pay for that, that's fine. Yeah. Call somebody else, right? Because we don't want the headaches that come associated with not doing that prep or post work. Right. So, yeah, it's really important that your contractor is doing that stuff. And if they're not, just saying. So, Delco, you said you work 15 minutes for the most part around your home. I said I do the same thing. Why do you love Delco so much? What is it about working in the area that you love so much?
It's just comfortability, really. comfortability, and like in Springfield, there's like 5 different types of houses. You have the twin houses that are largely all the same. You have 2 different types of brick colonials, and then you have some Cape Cods and ranchers. And I'm just huge into systems, and so like somebody could call right now. I could take a live call right now, and somebody could be like, hey, I have a brick colonial on Colonial Park Drive in Springfield. I want to get my hallway bathroom remodeled. And I can tell them, like, it's going to be like $33,000, $383. Like, that's the last one that we did, cost that much money,
Right.
and you have the same bathroom.
Right.
So it's going to be the same exact thing. So we like that. Just provides a lot of comfortability for our clients. Like, hey, we do these all the time. We know the issues that are going to come up. Like, they're not even issues at this point. It's just something that we know that we needed to deal with. It's not even a real problem. It's accounted for in the price. We know exactly how long it's going to take. We know exactly how much material we need. Like, it's easy.
Yeah, I mean, the inspectors. Knowing the inspectors sometimes, isn't a matter of you getting off easier. It doesn't create
John
less
Devlin's
work.
not letting anybody off easy.
John Devlin is not. No. But having a rapport with John does open up the lines of dialogue that, hey, we have this coming up and this is a little different. Is this going to be okay? And he's going to say yes because you called me ahead of time. But an inspector walking in that you've never worked with before sometimes, who might not have seen that job done in their township at that point, may go, why is this like that? And so, sometimes working with the same inspectors day in and day out is good. And we have that rapport with, John is one of those guys over in Springfield because of the sewers we do over there, and the guys in Nether Providence and Swarthmore, and these are all a lot of inspectors that we work with. So they're used to working with us. And Matt called me yesterday from a house in Nether Providence, and he's telling me how this sewer goes out the house, and I asked him 3 questions. And I said, is it under the stairs? Where's the back door at? And where's it out front? And I could then answer those 3 questions. I could then tell them the exact type of house that was in, because there's only so many of those houses in this one section of Nether Providence. So we know exactly like that. So we know where that sewer goes. We know that there's something in the front yard there that may cause a hiccup, but we know that. Mm-hmm. And so having that knowledge of that area makes it easier for us to work in there, right? Like, and it's the same thing with you guys. Having the knowledge of those houses, the way they were built, makes it a little easier for you guys to be able to bid and do those bathrooms and kitchens. So knowing the area is gives you a leg up sometimes in being able to do that work correctly.
Yeah, the specificity of things is just, it's huge. It just adds to the client experience, which is the most important thing.
So one of the mistakes we just talked about that people make when they hire people is not comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges. What other mistakes do homeowners generally make sometimes when they're looking at getting estimates on bathrooms and or kitchens or whatever?
It's definitely hiring on price. And I know that's really cliche, and I'm not even, there's, the whole thing like, the lowest bid's a crackhead or whatever. And sometimes that could be true. But really just hiring on price in general is a terrible idea. Because I know that there are people that do stuff for less than us that do a really good job. They just have different needs. It's like they're one person, they have a truck, they do the plumbing and everything.
They don't have the overhead. They don't have the overhead.
And they do a really good job. And I have no problem. Like, somebody says that they need a bathroom and it's not a good fit for us for a budget. Here, I give Jack a call.
Sure.
Jack's going to take care of you.
Right.
Like 100%, he's going to take care of you. But same thing goes for hiring a company. If you got 4 bids, you don't necessarily just go with the highest bid because you want the best product. I know a handful of companies that charge a lot of money and they don't really do that great of a job. They'll disappear for days at a time, which is like crazy. If we're on a bathroom job, we're there every single day. And not even just show face. Like, we have a real plan.
Even just show face. That's good, because there are companies that'll do that, right?
Oh,
so
yeah, they're like,
a helper to that job for the day, and they're just cleaning up.
We'll be there tomorrow, and it's like they had an apprentice there for 2 hours, like sweeping, and then he left. Like, that's you weren't really there. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely hiring based on price, regardless of whether that's, wanting the lowest price or assuming that the highest price is the best product. Never hire on price. You always want to interview everybody thoroughly. You want to check out their website. You want to check out their social media. You want to check out their Google reviews. You want to look for consistency. You want to look for what people are saying about them. Like, oh, like the product was great. If they have a bunch of 4-star reviews and it's like the product was awesome, but like the experience sucked, that's telling you something. Or if they have a bunch of 4-star reviews and it's, we're generally happy with the product, but the communication was great all the time. So like either way, it sounds like you're getting a 4-star bathroom. Like, would you rather have it, the communication go smoothly and maybe it's a 9 out of 10, or have horrible communication and you get a 10 out of 10 bathroom? And in my experience, beyond like 7 out of 10 work, people don't even know the difference. They're so used to seeing bad work. Yeah. Somebody sees something that's an 8 out of 10 in professional opinion, they're like, oh my God, this is perfect. Like, you don't even really know the difference. We do 10 out of 10 work, of course. So,
of course.
Yeah.
So, I always say in the plumbing world, I've been doing this now for 24 years. It's night and day. Completely different industry. My little company, we have, 3 service trucks and 3 trucks on the sewer side or the excavation side. Realistically, we're double what my boss was. And I worked for Murphy's on McDade, which was one of the area's bigger companies back 20 some years ago. It was a flat rate company back then, and we now charge double what they charged back then. And that being said, any company larger than me, the Horizons, the Olivers, the Horizon companies, which is, the Hendersons and any of those companies, they're $400, $500, $600 an hour in their book. So with the cost of labor, and which is fine with me, being so expensive, because no one's coming into this industry, and supply and demand is, the number one rule in business, right? And so with that being said, is there any trends right now that you think are not going away, and that any trends that are really becoming more prevalent in the industry, that tend to speed up the install or the labor side of the industry that you don't think are going anywhere anytime soon?
Yeah, so I mean, shower insert systems or rebath, stuff like that, the enclosures have always been really popular. They've always been pretty ugly. Like, if we're being honest, like you own like grandma's house or like some like old hotel, and it's all beige and it sticks out like an inch from the wall all the way around. They're pretty ugly. But now more than ever, like the new PVC and acrylic tub surround systems, they're panels now. Instead of like one-piece units that you stick in there, they're all panels. They look great. They look like tile. They look like natural stone. They fool you until you get like this far away from them. You would swear that it's a real stone in there or a real tile.
Even the Swanstone stuff, right? Like 20 years ago, Swanstone was the new thing on the market and was so crazy expensive that it cost more than doing tile because of it was so new and it was man-made, and I think now enough companies have started making that fake stone stuff that guys like you are now able to come in and use that to your advantage and be able to do a great product, right? Like,
yeah, so I mean, basically what it boils down to is the material's a little bit more expensive than tile in general.
Right.
If you're sometimes we do stuff in Chestnut Hill,
right,
so a little bit richer of an area. Those people are picking $30 square foot tile. It's a different ball game out there. But if we're talking Delaware County, Springfield, those people are looking at tile between $3 and $5 a square foot. Yep. It's nice. It's not super expensive. Nope. The wall panels are going to be more expensive. But what happens there is it now turns the shower install from a quote-unquote skilled install where you need a specialized tile installer to what I would consider less skilled.
Just a carpenter. A carpenter at that point. You're cutting panels.
Yeah, exactly.
Or somebody knows how to cut those panels.
Right.
Has been trained in those panels as opposed to a tile guy that has multiple years of training on setting tile and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it costs a little bit more on material, but it turns it into a one-day install
so
instead
of less labor.
A 2-day, 3-day install. One guy can do it instead of 2 guys over the course of 3. So like you're saving 5 man days on it.
Right.
And in our world, that's probably not as big as the plumbing world, but we're talking $5,000-$6,000 savings.
Right.
So.
Listen, I mean, anytime we can shave off labor, right? We're across the board, like we said. The industry, it's not. We don't have a ton of young guys coming in any of our industries. The construction side. So anytime, every year, our price goes up, right? Like, I mean, you guys do too. I don't know a contractor who doesn't go up every year, because every contractor I know, their insurances go up January 1st. They're up a little bit.
You don't even have an option. As a general contractor, if you go and try and shop your workers' comp insurance, there's like 2 people that'll carry you. One's the company that you have that just raised your price, and the other one's the company that knows what you're paying with the other one. And it is what it is.
You're gonna get hit with a raise every single year, right? Even in on my side of the industry with plumbing, everything's now plastic, right? Like, we're doing that house up in Ardmore together for Hob, and we don't put copper in houses. We don't put cast iron stacks back in, right? We put in plastic water lines, plastic drain lines, and part of that is because of labor. It's so expensive to do a house in copper or cast iron that it's prohibitive at this point. I mean, it would be, literally probably triple or quadruple what the price of doing a house would be to do it in copper or cast iron. So everything is labor at this point in our industries. So if we can get a material that speeds up and that looks great and that holds up, I think it's kind of a win-win for a lot of the people, for a lot of our customers. And certainly your shower turnovers, that's a pretty good thing, because there's not too many companies that actually do that. There are, but
there are a lot to your point. They're like the WM Hendersons and stuff. They're bigger names. It's
PE. They're all PE companies.
Yeah, exactly. West Shore Home, like PJ Fitzpatrick. It's like, how stupid is it? They do roofing, windows, and bathrooms. Like, you're a roofer. You're not good at doing bathrooms, but they do the one-day ones because they have carpenters.
Yep. So you've now been a GC, we'll say, for almost 5 years at this point. What do you think is the most rewarding part of it? I mean, obviously not money, because it takes a while to start getting money to come in and stop spending it on your business. Mm-hmm. But what do you think is your favorite part of being a GC at this point?
Definitely at this point, helping people with their leaky shower. If it's a bathroom that only has, or a house that only has one bathroom in it, somebody that has a tub that's leaking, or it's cracked, it's leaking into the kitchen below, and they're in a really uncomfortable situation. We love doing those ones. So it's not really the big, expensive, beautiful bathrooms that we do that are the most rewarding. It's, hey, this person has a real problem. They're sensitive on time and on budget. And when we're able to go in with the wall panels and the fast shower system, and we're able to go in and hook them up for $15,000 instead of West Shore Home doing it for $30,000, and they have a local company do it with our warranty and everything, we're going to be responsive, and we can get that problem solved for them in as quick as a day. That's the most rewarding, really.
When you can help a family out who can't shower,
Yeah.
right? I mean, and I say all the time, one of my favorite things is when we have a customer whose sewer is broken, and it's just, not even that, just helping out a customer when they actually need the help. Yesterday morning, we went and did a water heater for a family they just had their third kid, sorry. They were literally going to the hospital to bring home, the husband was going to the hospital to bring home his wife and newest kid, and their water heater went out. And he's like, listen, water here's leaking, and but we're bringing our third kid home tomorrow afternoon. And as somebody who has little kids, I know what that's like. And ultimately, we had a guy there yesterday morning, swapping out the water heater to make sure that, and we love doing water heaters, and we made money on a water heater, but just the fact that you were able to solve this problem for this guy who was when you bring a kid home, it's a little nerve-wracking. And it's not like it's a bad time in your life, but it is a hectic time in your life. And so, like, just to be able to solve a problem sometimes, and you know, you guys doing a shower for somebody who has one bathroom in the house, is you know, one of those feelings that your company did something right? Not just you donated money to a charity or you helped out with this, but you actually, your company was there for a reason, that you solved somebody's problem, you got paid for it, your employees got paid. And it's one of those things as a business owner that I'm like, you know what, man, that's great. Like, you know, it worked. The business worked, we worked, and ultimately that's what I love seeing. And so when you say something like that, like, it's true, and that's what the difference is. Ultimately, that product that you sell works.
Right.
And works correctly and works efficiently for that homeowner. So conversely, what's the hardest part of running a business? For you, what's been the hardest part so far?
It's people. Just like anything else in life, the hardest part is people. And there's no way around it.
We had a customer a few weeks ago that wanted a refund. We redid her water lines in her house, and wants a refund because we did it in PEX instead of copper. And for a good 5 minutes, I didn't know what to say to this woman when she called in and was saying that. And then it was like, wait, why does she want the copper, right? And so she was under this misconception that the copper was better. And we had to explain to her that metal reacts to water and has a shortened life cycle. Yes, it could be 60 years. Yes, it could be 80 years. But that's a piece of PEX. And there is no life on that piece of plastic.
Yeah.
So ultimately, she then was like, oh, okay, this isn't going to go bad in 40 years or 60 years. I'm never going to have a pinhole leak in this PEX water line.
Right.
So for me, sometimes it's just the customers not being informed.
Right.
And not even, you know, being a problem or this, that, or other thing. It's just not being informed on something and then informing them and them understanding. So yeah. You know, you've been in this industry for a few years. You've been in other industries for a few years. If you had one of your employees who's been with you for a little bit, let's say he wanted to go out on his own in a couple of years, what would be the number one thing you told them?
To just take your time with everything. You know, go work for somebody and learn on the job and learn how to do something 5 different ways from 5 different people. Some of the ways might be wrong. Some of them might, it is possible to do things in this industry 3 different ways, and all 3 things are right. So it's just figuring out which way works best for you and just gaining that overall like breadth of experience there. And learning that, and this way you can kind of figure stuff out, because figuring stuff out is that's what I do on a day-to-day basis, is just figure stuff out for other people. So if you're going to go and start your own remodeling business, if you don't have the capability of figuring stuff out for yourself, what are you going to do when you have 6 jobs going on and 6 foremen are calling you trying to figure stuff out? You need to kind of know how to figure the things out. So, I mean, it's basically just get the experience in, take your time, go to, like, especially in remodeling, go to Floor & Decor or Home Depot or Avalon Flooring, and they'll have free courses from Schluter and Weedy and all the tile systems and waterproofing systems, and they're all free to go to. And you learn about the products and the applications, and you get certified, and that's all free. And so take advantage of as much free education as you can get. Take advantage of the paid education that you get from being on the job and learning from people. So take your time and take advantage of all the education opportunities.
Don't rush in. So you've been in Delco, you've been in the food industry in Delco, but you don't necessarily work in restaurants in Delco for the most part. What's your favorite restaurant in Delco?
Right now, Il Graneo out in Glen Mills.
Where's that at?
Dude, it's in Glen Mills. I don't know.
Is that
I put it in the GPS and we go.
Off of Route 1.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. All right.
Yeah, we started going there maybe about a year ago, and we've probably been there 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
It's good. It's good.
So what do you enjoy doing outside of work when you're not being bugged by your employees or customers? What is it that you like, that really keeps you going and is the purpose of Captivate Remodeling and Painting?
Right now, I'm not entirely sure what the purpose is, but I do enjoy. I got a 4-year-old and an almost 3-year-old at home, so I enjoy spending time with them. We go to Disney probably too many times a year. We like doing that, and I mean, right now I'm in that groove where I really like building businesses and systems and everything. I have a couple other businesses, and kind of right now, like that's what I like doing. Like I like hanging out with my kids. I get up at 4:30 in the morning. I work on business stuff all the way through 4:30, 5 o'clock. Then I get to have a couple hours with the kids, hang out, have a good time, and then I get back to working. That's just where I'm at right now. I'm probably an incredibly boring person.
Any of them ever have hand, foot, and mouth disease? Bro.
No.
Oh, that's the worst.
We've been fortunate with our health overall.
Our 1-year-old has it right now, and it's all 4 of them have had it. All 4 of the little ones have had it. But Michael, all over his mouth, his hands, his arms, and like it blossomed Saturday and Sunday. My wife was like, "I'm not gonna go to brunch. We'll just stay home with him." And I was like, "You're not going to brunch, or we're not?"
Yeah.
Like she's like, "No, I'll stay home with him." And I was like, "Oof, all right, that's fine with me. That's you can do that." So if you were not doing your current job, and I mean if you were not being an entrepreneur right now, if you were not being the guy who got the calls for the questions and were responsible for the money, what would you be doing right now? What do you think if you were working for somebody in another profession? Actually, if Lou was working for somebody, what would that profession be?
Sales. I'll do any sales. I don't give a shit what it is. I'll probably make more money that way too. That's a good idea. Do you need a salesman?
Maybe. I mean, if we create that position, sure.
No, I would go and do sales 100% without a doubt. I'll bet on myself every single time.
Yeah.
I guess still that would be slightly entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
Whatever that word is. Under somebody else's watch, but yeah, it would be sales. I'll go and sell anything. Give me 3 months to learn about the product, and I'm in.
I said florist.
Florist. Jesus, you don't want me doing art.
It smells good. It smells better than poop. That's for sure.
You should be numb to it by now.
No, I throw up still. So, we talked about bathrooms, kitchens, 1-day tub and shower turnovers. But you also have a full painting crew. You guys do full painting. You also have a full cleaning crew. You were alluding to the crew, the cleaners coming in. You guys clean houses for a living.
Yeah, we have a full cleaning division.
And so that's something that you guys also, a lot of other guys, when they're doing remodels, they're not necessarily cleaning underneath of it. And when you're doing surgery, because that's what it is, right? When you're doing a bathroom in the middle of a home, you're doing surgery. There are times that plaster ceilings below it crack. Just dust coming off of that stuff falls and gets on the floor. And that's one of the reasons you guys do all the prep work. But then sending that cleaning crew back in is something that sets you guys apart. That's definite.
Yeah.
Anything else other than the cleaning crew and all that stuff business-wise that you got?
Like in general, like other businesses.
Sure. Yeah.
I have a water ice store in Springfield. Pierre's Water Ice and Ice Cream. Love doing that.
Saxer?
Yeah, it's on Saxer. Yeah, so we've been there. This is our 4th season. Have some rental properties. We still flip properties. We do the rental property turnovers, and we probably do too much. Probably stand to do less and just be better at something.
Well, that wouldn't be the entrepreneurial spirit, though, right?
Yeah.
So one of the questions we like to ask, it's a hard-nosed question. What type of toilet paper is your favorite? Are you a Scott's guy, or are you a quilted Northern 6-ply Charmin? Where you at?
Just cheap toilet paper.
Scott's single ply?
I guess so. I don't know. My wife takes care of all that stuff. So there's toilet paper on the roll, and I go for it. It's single ply. I would assume it's Scott's, but I don't know.
Could be Costco.
I've never seen the packaging. Yeah.
You've never changed out a roll of toilet paper in your own house?
Well, I do.
So it's in the packaging, and you don't really know what type of toilet paper it is. but it is thinner.
Yeah,
it is
it's
a thinner
single
toilet
ply.
paper.
Yeah, I don't know what brand.
Listen, I'm a single ply toilet paper guy my whole entire life.
Well, we don't
Just
want
what it is.
clogs.
I don't. Oh, I want clogs. Y'all
Yeah,
y'all get
you
in clog your
want
sewers
clogs.
as much as you want.
Yeah. I'm probably a big fan of garbage disposals too.
I am a huge fan of garbage disposals as long as I'm not warrantying them. Just so we're clear. Y'all should have garbage disposals.
It's the worst product to put in your kitchen.
I have redone, I built my home that we live in, right? Rebuilt the house that I lived in beforehand, and before that redid my parents' kitchen when I was still living there. And in neither of the three did I ever put a disposer in my own home, ever. There's never been a garbage disposer in my own home.
We won't do it.
They are problems because people think that they are food compactors.
Yeah.
And it says on the box that I'll take a lot of that stuff. The problem is it's supposed to be a full 2-inch PVC line going to that sink. And once it's over 5 feet and it's 10 feet long or 15 foot long, like most of the time it is, then you have stuff that's going to inevitably sit in that line. So yeah, we actually will talk people out of putting them in if they don't have one. And if it goes, unless the people are adamant about keeping it, we'll try and talk them out of putting one back in and just say, hey, listen, let's put a deep seal basket in here, and you lift the thing out and you're good to go and you're done.
Yeah, we refuse to put them in. No garbage disposals and no sinks under 30 inches wide. Refuse to do it. Stupid. Don't put a 24-inch sink in your kitchen. Not enough room.
Oh man, this literally is one of the reasons why we started this podcast, was because we wanted to talk to people who had the work in Delco that we wanted to relate to. Lou and his guys do work that they stand behind, right? And ultimately, when you're calling a contractor, to have somebody that will respond to your calls and emails, but also check up with you after the work is done, that can give you a warranty that they can stand behind, right? And that's one of the major things, is anybody can give you a warranty. Will they be around to stand by it?
Right.
And do they stand by it? And do they honor it, right? Because maybe they're not some huge company, but like Lou, they have a great reputation and they want to further that reputation. So if you're out there and you're looking for a bathroom remodel or a kitchen remodel or just a one-day tub and shower replacement because the fiberglass is cracked or you have a bunch of grout missing and you only have one bathroom in your house, I'd give Captivate Remodeling a call, because you're not calling Scarpignato Plumbing for that. We don't want to do that stuff. These guys bang it out correct, they do it right, and they give you a warranty that's going to stand by, and they're going to stand by it. So anything related like that, feel free to give Lou at Captivate Remodeling and Painting a call. Appreciate you joining us today. Appreciate Lou coming out today, coming to the office.
Thanks for having me.
And talking about his business. So thanks a lot. We'll see you on the next one.